Hello, low effort video today because they're all low effort because I'm always tired. I've been having a really bad week. I am on a tea break right now from my good friend Marijuana because my friend, who is my plug, has not re-upped on carts in a little bit, and so in place of that, I bought so many edibles off of her. So many edibles. And for a period, I was taking around 2 to 4 a day. So obviously they stopped working, so I am now on a tea break. And I'm not having a good time. So to deal with the tragic loss of intoxication, I would like to tell you about the first ever time I got high. If you are wondering why I'm blinking so fast, I have an eye condition. I cannot help it. So for context, I was homeschooled and I did not really have that many friends growing up, but my brother was also homeschooled. However, he was part of a local high school's baseball team. I'm not sure how that was allowed to happen because we weren't like under that school in any way, but they let him do it, so it was okay, so whatever. So my brother got to go out and, have his little social time every week. Seemed like almost every day while I sat and rotted at the house. However, occasionally my parents would make my brother include me in his social life because I had so little going on. And I was very grateful for this. However, I did know that I was unwanted in these scenarios, but that's besides the point. And one day, my brother's friends were going to go up to the quarry. If you don't know what a quarry is, it's like a very mineral-rich rock lake, basically, I think, right? It had a lot of like cliff edges and like jump off points from like different rock platforms and stuff, although I think it was technically illegal to jump from most of them. Yeah, so they were wanting to go up there to shoot guns, not particularly at anything. I don't think they were gonna go hunting, just to like shoot guns, just for the fuck of it, I guess. And I should specify now, at my big age currently, I would not support this kind of behavior, but at my age then of around probably 15 or 16, I was really desperate just for any social interaction in which I wasn't going to get yelled at. So this was kind of a goldmine for me. I decided to go with them. And unbeknownst to me, they had planned on smoking all the way up the mountain and then at the mountain when they arrived. So obviously I joined in. We weren't hiking, mind you. We were driving up this mountain, and on the car ride there, we were all sharing a blunt. And somehow I ended up with my own. I may have been hogging it, like, straight up. I don't even know. But all I know is I smoked nearly an entire blunt, and I didn't feel a damn thing. Like, it was like an hour drive up there. Nothing. A break for a while. We, parked the car. This is, it's getting dark by this point, and it's, starting to rain. But we're up there, and we're shooting our guns or whatever. I did not shoot a gun, personally. I'm not into that. Gun rights, whatever. I don't want to shoot a gun if I don't have to. Mind you, we are high and underage, and a car pulls up behind us and just kind of sits there. And it's like one of those van type, I don't know if it's like a full-on van, but it's like an SUV or something, and it's got the blacked out windows. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this person here? Nobody is getting out of the car, and so we're just kind of enjoying ourselves. We stopped shooting the guns. We're kind of keeping an eye on this car, what's going on? And I'm pretty sure most of the group is very paranoid at this point because they've been smoking. So, while we're looking at this car, somebody spots that someone has carved a pentagram into a tree. And that did not scare me because it's a pentagram. It's either harmless or someone put it there just to be edgy. So we're fine. But I guess to these people, the car being parked up there and the pentagram was just too much. And so all of them just scramble and grab all their shit and start running. And I'm like, well, fuck, I guess we're running. So I start running too. Back in the car, and we continue speeding up this mountain because one of the guys, one of his relatives owns a cabin up there or something. But they're not living in it right now. So it's just this it's just a place to go that's shelter. Once we get to the cabin, it starts raining pretty hard, and so we're basically well, fuck, I guess we should just call it a night. So we all just go into the cabin to hang out. The inside of this cabin is covered floor to ceiling in taxidermy deer heads. To this day, that kind of thing disturbs me. I'm like, I need to know that you ate every single one of these deer. Please tell me you ate and prepared every single one of these deer. Because why? Like, oh, I don't like people that hunt when they don't need to hunt. Or like, hunt. I don't like people that hunt just to kill, hunt for the trophy, hunt for the sport. Like, you're weird. You're weird. You enjoy murder. Straight up. Like, think about that for a second, actually. All of that's on my mind in this moment. Throughout this whole time, I'm basically not part of the conversation at any point, but I was so starved back then that it was kind of just enough to be near conversation and be near people that were experiencing camaraderie between themselves. I didn't know what I was missing, so I didn't miss it yet. Weirdly, having friends has made me so much more lonely. Like, I really just can't tolerate being alone anymore, but yeah, so... I'm not gonna do trail-offs in this video. This video is gonna be straight to the fucking point. We're up there. I eventually am like, because they're enjoying their individual little roaches and carts and whatnot. And I'm like, I still, like, don't feel anything. Like, do you mind? And they're like, yeah, just take a blinker off of this here. And they hand me a cart. I've never, ever smoked from a cart until this moment. And so I was like, okay, I trust you. And they're like, just inhale until the light starts blinking, and then you're good. And so I did. Blinker in, and I'm, like, obviously coughing up a damn lung. But while I'm coughing, I'm just like, I don't know, guys. Like, I'm just kind of out of breath. Like, I don't really do anything. And so I'm not even done with my coughing fit yet. And they're like, take another blinker. And you know what? So I did. And when I finally catch my breath, it hits me. And straight up, to be honest with you, I don't remember the rest of the night. I went fully catatonic on that couch. And I just remember the feeling of pure dread and, like, being watched that I felt that first time. Like, I don't think I got any of the high effects. Instead of feeling that, like, nice body high that you get when you're like, oh, I'm gonna smoke some weed and just veg out on the couch, you know, like, it was that feeling, I'm sure, but the way that my body interpreted that feeling that was supposed to be relaxation was like, oh, fuck, like, my whole body is vibrating, I can't move, these deer are fucking peering into my soul and being like, you're the same type of entity that has slain my brothers, blah, 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 blah. Pretty sure that I blocked out the rest of that night. But, fear not, I was just as stupid a second time. These two instances, my first and second time smoking weed, I believe took place in the same year. I was either 15 or 16. What's important to know about 15 and 16-year-old Sippy is that I was up to my nose in a psychotic episode in which I thought that I was a reincarnated serial killer that was, getting a second chance at life/purgatory, but the purgatory was invented by my mind, and angels were constantly interfering with it because they didn't want me to get to heaven because they hated me. And so I viewed everything as, like, a test or as, like, a torture method used to get to me, or as, like, a reflection of my current predicament at large. Like, every single thing led back to I'm being tortured by supernatural forces. Well, my second time getting high starts very similarly in a car. Again, what is up with high school boys wanting to drive belligerently high? I don't know why I didn't process it at the time, but that's not normal. Like, we could have, bad things could have happened to us. Anyways, you won't fucking believe this because I don't learn my lesson, but actually the exact same sequence of events happen again. We all shared a blunt in the car, driving at nighttime, and I didn't feel anything. What I'm thinking is that these guys bought, like, indica bud, and then had either, like, mixed or sativa carts, because, excuse me, because the blunts basically just kind of was like, but not anything, just kind of like, I'm kind of sleepy. But the carts fucked me up bad. So we're enjoying our blunt, and we get up to this guy's house, who was my brother's, like, high school best friend, although I think they're, like, sworn enemies now. I think they legit hooked up just to smoke and drink. But from what I gather from the male situation, the modern male situation, is that that's every male friendship. You guys need to fix your shit deeply. We get up there, brother has this giant ass mason jar full of whiskey, and it's like this honey flavored whiskey. Oh, it was good. It was good. But him and my brother were kind of hogging it, so I didn't get to enjoy that as much. At the time, I was borderline an alcoholic, but I didn't even really drink to get drunk. I really drank to lower my heart rate. I would mix like a shot of vodka into like all my drinks throughout the day to where I never really felt tipsy. I just felt like I wasn't constantly being chased by 15 bears. And to this day, I have fucked alcohol tolerance. But thankfully, my medication is kind of fixing that for me. Thank you, medication. Follow my example, and if your medication tells you that you shouldn't be drinking heavily on it, don't drink on your medication. I have faith in myself that I'm pure of heart these days and will remain safe. But that's just what I tell myself to keep myself from panicking, because, you know, at this point, I panic without it, I panic with it. You gotta choose one devil over the other devil, and sometimes we all have seasons of life. This is the season that I'm in right now. Previous, way better than previous, so I progress slowly, but that's just how I am. That's how I'm built. That's how I'm built, man. So yeah, we're hanging out at this guy's house. There's some random girl there. I don't know this girl. I barely know my brother's friends. I barely know my brother. Like, what am I saying? So, I guess by this point, scientifically or whatever, technically, I'm a little bit crossed. I still barely feel a fucking thing. And they pull out the cardigan, and I'm like, and yes, I know the cart fucked me up last time, and that's fresh in my mind, and I know that. But I also know that the only time I ever felt anything smoking weed was when I hit the cart. So maybe if I just go a little easier this time, it'll treat me better. We'll see where this goes. So, little old me, second time hitting a cart, I didn't know it was an option to not take a blinker, and so I immediately take a blinker and go to fucking space. So once again, I'm basically catatonic, and I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't deal with this again. So I tell my brother, like, dude, I really do not feel good. And all he tells me is, why don't you just, like, get up and see if you can move around a little bit? Like, why don't you dance or something? You might feel better. And so I get up, and this girl, who I don't know, is trying to get my little autistic, like, at the time, very asocial ass to get up and dance with her. And so I am panicking, and I'm like, fuck, I guess I don't have a choice. So I get up, and I awkwardly move my body around, and the floor is like, it's like I look down at the floor, and it instantly fucking stretches miles and miles of miles, and it's like my head is like so far away from my feet that I feel like I'm going to immediately like tip over if someone so much as breathes on me. I feel like jello. My head is fucking spinning. Like, my vision is doing this weird negative flash thing. Hang on. Like, every time I blink, a negative image of what's in front of me appears first, and it's like everybody is portrayed as these glowing shadow figures instead of their true selves, and then it'll like quickly fade back to the regular image. But then as soon as I blink again, it starts all over again, and it's just nauseating, like a strobe light that I cannot turn off. I eventually feel like I'm going to actually throw up if I continue, and so I sit back down, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't. And they all go about doing their own business and just kind of ignore me there for a while. I know that in this state, I was like butting into conversations occasionally, but I do not remember what about. But I know I was annoying the fuck out of everyone, because what I kept doing was I would look at my brother and be like, you don't understand. This has happened before. We've done this exact thing before, and we're reliving it right now. Like, you don't get it. This has happened before, just over and over and over again, because I was having the worst deja vu of my life. I genuinely thought that we were all stuck in a time loop, and it had something to do with my, like, curse. Like, I was being punished for smoking weed or something. I don't know. Like, I was such a sheltered, very hyper-religious environment kid, homeschooled, as you know. So, this shit was, like, crazy for me at the time. Everybody else, while I'm having my existential crisis, they're like having a grand old time. And they're eventually like, you know, we should go get some food. Let's go to Salsaritas. Let's get some food. And my brother's like, oh, trust me, this is going to make you feel a million times better. You're never going to eat anything that tastes as good as this again. Like, blah, 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 blah. We got there. I'm not feeling any better. I'm feeling like I do not want to eat right now. Like, I feel so vile and wretched. Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up all the time, but I, like, to this point, have just not been able to make myself throw up. And at this time, I'm also getting paranoid because we're out, like, very late, and I didn't know we would be out this late. And I'm like, we should probably text our parents so that they know what we're doing so that we don't get in trouble for being out late. Whole time my brother's like, no, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. And I'm like, I'm just freaking out, man. I'm just losing my mind. And so I convinced myself, like, I must text my mom and say, hey, we're gonna grab food first and then we'll be home soon. And I open my phone, like, this entire time that I've been freaking out, I've been trying to get on my phone to, like, distract myself, and I just can't because my vision is so wavy and distorted, and my, like, hand-eye coordination is, like, offset by at least 5 seconds. So I spend what felt like an hour just trying to draft this text to my mom. I'm sure it wasn't that long, but oh my lord, I felt like I was wading through tar trying to type a simple fucking message. Eventually, I get it done somehow, and I think that it's legible, and I get a reply back from my mom later, like, okay, whatever. Our food arrives, and it's like eating glue on styrofoam. I got a cheese quesadilla. It was the worst thing I had ever, and I've eaten my own vomit. It was awful experience. I don't know, like, at the time, I get it now. Being a little bit more seasoned, I know the joys of food while high. At the time, that is probably the worst thing that could have been presented to me. During this also, I'm like overanalyzing the text message I got from my mom, like, oh, she knows, she's mad, she's already mad. Like, growing up, my parents were very punishment-based in most of their interactions. I think it's the only way that they know how to teach is by enforcing it through pain, be it emotional or physical. So I was really scared of what could happen to me if, like, not even if they found out I smoked, if they decided they didn't want us out that late. Because obviously I can't drive. I'm legally blind at the time, underage, and without a permit of any kind. Like, if you don't know me, like, I'll never legally be able to drive. Like, I'm kind of at the whims of whoever transports me whenever I enter a public space. So I was just like, I don't know. I was scared of what my brother and his friends had in store for the night because I know how they are. Also, throughout the dinner, I'm just trying to convince my brother, like, you have to believe me. This has happened before. And I'm sure I was driving it. I probably, like, ruined a lot of people's experience that night. When everybody finishes eating, I'm like, oh, finally, we can go home. And then it hits me. I'm still extremely high. How am I going to mask this in front of my parents? Luckily for me, turns out we weren't going home, which also sent me into a panic. We're going back to some guy's house to fucking drink after all this shit. At this point in the night, things start getting fuzzy again, and I honestly do not remember. I remember my brother and his friends had a couple drinks. The guy's dad ended up being there, but he, I guess, didn't give a fuck that all of these teenagers were extremely cross and dysfunctional in front of him, but whatever. So I'm just sitting there still, just like waiting for it to be over, just trying to sober myself up. And eventually we get to leave. I had been sitting so perfectly still, like almost like meditating at this point because I had no other choice, that I started to feel a little bit better. And so I was like, oh, finally we can go home. It's gonna be okay. As soon as I stand, everything hits me at once again. It's just like the beginning of the night. Strobe lights, feeling like a fucking one of those car deals balloon dancer things out front. And I projectile vomit all across this guy's front yard. Like, it's like a river of vomit throwing throughout this guy's front yard. Like, it'd be difficult to step somewhere and not step in it the way that I did this, like, basically right in front of his doorway. It's not just once, my friend. It's several times in a row. I'm like a faucet, just everywhere, man. And it is so bad that my brother, who is standing by his door, like, yelling at me, like, aim it to the flower bed, aim it out of the yard, like... It's so bad that he then turns around and starts throwing up too. What? you know what? When I was finally done and fucking empty, I felt like a brand new person. I immediately felt fully sober. I immediately was like, oh my god, time to fucking collapse into bed. Like, it was so... The peace and relief that washed over me was almost religious. And since that point, I did not smoke again until I met my friends in college. And then it finally started to feel, you know, how it's supposed to feel. All this to say, while I don't condone these specific activities that me and my brother's friends and whatnot took part in while high, I do not think that weed is necessarily the issue. It's definitely the circumstances. Like, don't smoke with people you don't know for the first time. Don't smoke for the first time in a psychotic episode while underage, and while drinking. Don't smoke in public for the first time. Like, basically just a nice little lesson of everything to not do when you want to smoke for the first time. If you're going to smoke for the first time, you need to be with people you actually genuinely like and that genuinely like you, that you know are safe individuals, in a private area that's, like, nice and peaceful and relaxing. Do not follow my fucking footsteps. It really is genuinely crazy because when I smoke now, it's like night and day. Like, weed now is my palace of relaxation. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And I really do think it's that, like, I'm medicated now. I'm with people that actually see me for me and, like me. I like them. I'm much more stable. I'm living on my own away from my parents. Like, when you smoke, you really just, you have to consider the environment that you're in first, I think, and your own mental state. If you are suicidally depressed, don't smoke weed, buddy. I know it may seem like, well, I'm depressed, it's a feeling that's other than depression, but I promise you, bro, like, any other coping skill is probably going to treat you better other than substance abuse in that predicament. Coming from experience. Anyways, that is my tale. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.